Scaredy Cats. I am 20 years old, but I was adopted in the 1950s. No, this isn't a diary or a letter. I'm writing this on the 11th of September 2022. The Queen of England died 3 days ago. I was adopted on June 22nd of 1951. I don't remember the home I was in before they adopted me. I just remember the house. It was like one of those big spooky mansions you would hear in those old horror stories. Everything was broken, creaky and bleak. A cobweb in every corner of my room, but it was a place to call home. My mother was a cold woman, like a witch, but with rules, lots of rules, but they were strange. I never truly realized why there were so many, or why they were so strange, until I ran away. She had cats. We never met them. Just heard the scuttering around the night and during the day, their soft meows echoing towards the cracks in the walls. She told us they were all what she called Scaredy Cats, and would run away at the sight of humans. Rule 1. Never leave your bedroom door unlocked past 11 p.m. It's an invitation. I never knew what she meant by invitation. I never unlocked my door unless it was mealtime or TV time. Each night, between 11:30 p.m. and 12 a.m., we would hear 3 knocks. Rule 2. When you hear 3 knocks, don't answer. I turn out the lights, and each time a little huff would come out the outside door, and the sound of what I thought were footsteps would move away. Although, some nights, there would be a single knock. Rule 3. If you only hear 1 knock, you have 10 seconds. Hide under the bed or in the closet. Keep your eyes closed. Once you hear the door lock, you're safe. The single knock. I swiftly sprang out of bed and made my way under the bed, closing my eyes and holding my breath, until it struck me. Why couldn't we look? What was it? Curiosity struck me and I slowly opened my right eye, and then my left. My hand smacked over my mouth, trying to stop myself from screaming. Rule 4. Do not go outside. All the windows were boarded up, doors locked. There was no way we could look outside apart from whatever they put on the TV or the papers. Only person allowed outside was Mother. We would be locked inside the TV room. One time, little brother Timmy wandered off and never came back. Rule 5. Do not wander off. Bedtime. It takes us a long time to go to bed. We can't leave Mother's side. We all walk behind her as we crouch, tippy-toe and shuffle through the narrow hallways as quiet as mice. She told us it was so we wouldn't scare the cats. Cats attack when they're scared. They don't act like the cats we see during TV time. Rule 6. Don't unlock the doors during TV time. Felix the cat was on. He was our favorite as kids. It would drown out the constant scratching at the doors when we all sat down to watch. Rule 7. If you see one of the cats, run and hide. Don't tell the others what you saw. I quivered underneath my bed at the sight of the cat. It was unlike any other cat I had seen before. It was large, 6 foot tall, and crawled on all 4s. I couldn't see its face, but I could see the drool pool on the wooden floor beneath its long, bony legs. It began to walk, or should I say, crawl away towards the door. I closed my eyes and sighed in relief. That was until I opened my eyes again. Then, all I felt was fear. Rule 8. No foods in the bedrooms. Food must be eaten and finished at the table. The smell will attract them. I came down early one day for breakfast. I saw Mother pouring milk into a glass bottle. I was confused. The milk she was pouring looked new. It was in a plastic sort of jug with a green lid, with the expiry date 5th November 2012. This milk sure did last long. Maybe the glass bottles made them last longer. Rule 9. Put the leftover food in the cat bowls. Whenever we couldn't finish food, we would always put them in the cat bowls as a little treat for the cats. They never ate it. They didn't like it. They didn't like anything we gave them. They were never happy. They wanted more. They wanted flesh. Rule 10. Run. Its yellow beady eyes stared back at me, a blue collar dangling from its neck. I froze in fear. I had to run. I managed to get out and run past it. It screeched behind me, and I heard its feet tapping rapidly as it chased after me. I ran as fast as I could from the cat and through the hallways, until I finally lost it. It wasn't safe here. I needed to run. I began to look around for an exit. The doors and windows were boarded up with wooden nails. There was no way I could get it open. I looked around, panicked for a way out. That was when I saw it. A vent. It was small but big enough for me to squeeze through. The chair scraped noisily against the ground as I pulled it across the kitchen floor and lined it up under the vent. I climbed on top of it and grabbed onto the edge of the vent and attempted to push myself up, but falling a couple of times back onto the chair. I was about to attempt again until I heard a soft meow and a jangle of a bell behind me. I slowly turned my head towards the dark hallways behind me, and I saw two yellow beady eyes looking towards me in the darkness of the hallway. It continued to meow, scratching at the walls either side of it. Each meow a different pitch and tone, as if it were multiple cats at once. I swung my leg up into the vent, pulling myself up, its footsteps rapidly coming towards me. And along with a loud screech, I clambered into the vent and began to crawl through the maze of vents, trying to find a way out. I could hear cars like the ones on the TV. Breeze hit me, and goosebumps grew like mounds on my skin because of the cold breeze, or so I thought. I looked behind me, and there it is, running up towards me with an ear-piercing screech. It was hunched in order to fit the narrow vent, which only made it look more terrifying. I crawled as quick as I could towards the noise, the sounds of car growing closer, but so did the quick taps of the cat's feet. I could see it. The vent. I crawled towards it, my knees red and torn apart from the friction between my skin and the vent floor. I began to kick at the vent, sweat dripping from my face. I looked backwards towards the creature, who was closing in on me. With all my might, I gave it one final kick and it fell off the hinges, hitting on the concrete ground with a thump. I slid out and landed on the pavement with a crack. Excruciating pain shot through my right arm, but I didn't care. I scrambled to my feet and looked at the vent. It stared at me with its devious eyes and backed away slowly with a soft growl and a soft jingle from the bell that hung from its collar. I looked at the house from afar and saw my siblings and mother looking out the large living room window. They all grinned at me as their eyes flashed yellow for a mere second before they backed off into the darkness. I faced towards the street. Everything was colorful, vibrant. The cars were odd. They were fast. They didn't look like anything like the black and white ones I saw on the television. There was pictures that moved along the big signs and buildings, and people wore nice clothes, short skirts and nothing like the rags I had to wear. food smelled and looked good. It wasn't like the thick grey stuff I always had to eat just so I wouldn't starve. I ran around like a headless chicken, dirt-coated face with clothing ragged. I bumped into a strange woman with a friendly face, squinting as the sun beamed towards me from behind her, as I asked, "Excuse me, miss, I'm lost." She let out a small laugh. "You certainly are. You look like something right out of the 50s. I looked confused at her. "But it's 1953. Her face fell, and her brows frowned. A concerned look plastered on her face. "1953? Darling, it hasn't been 1953 in 60 years. It's 2012. My eyes bulged and I looked around, bewildered. I saw a stray newspaper on the ground and took it on my hands. Looking at the front page, my eyes landed on the date. November 5th, 2012. I pulled it away from my face and looked towards the house in which I escaped. But it wasn't there. It was a pile of wooden planks. I walked towards it, kneeling down in the rubble and running my hands through it. My hands hit a hard object. It made a sound similar to a worn-out bell. I pulled on the object, and with a yank, out it came. A blue collar.